In this video, we are going to learn how to draw or plot a quadratic graph. After going through this video, I can see that you will learn how to plot a quadratic graph for the math exam. So ensure you stay to the very end of this video. As usual, at the end, I will give you guys a practice question to test your knowledge on this topic. Okay, so having known that, let's go into the details of the video. Okay, so let's begin with this example. Let's say we are given this equation, quadratic expression. We are given y equals x squared plus 2x minus 3. Okay, and we're also given this table of values. We're asked to complete it. You are given x equals negative, table of values starting from negative 4 to 2. So we have negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, and 2. Okay. The range of x started from negative 4 to 2. Then we are having the y value. We are given negative when x is negative 2, y is negative 3. And when x is negative 1 and y is negative 4. When x is 0, y is negative 3. When x is 1 and y is 0. Okay, when x is 2 and y is 5. We are asked to get that of y when x is negative 4 and negative 3. Okay, basically all we have to do is plug them in this place. We have x respectively. So let's take the value of y when x is negative 4. When we plug in negative 4 here in this x, we're going to have negative 4 squared give us 16. Okay, 16 plus now 2 times negative 4 give us negative 8. Okay, so plus times negative but negative, so it's going to be 16 minus 8 will give us what? 8. 8 minus 3 give us 5. So when x is negative 4, our y will be what? 5. Okay, so that's what it means basically. Now for when x is negative 3, again, we are going to plug in negative 3 and to get y. So negative 3 squared give us 9. Alright, 9. Negative 3 times 2 give us 6. We're going to have 9 minus 6, that's 33 minus 3. So we're going to have it to be 0. Okay, so that's basically what's happening there. Is our y. Alright, now we have our table of values. I'm going ahead and plot this quadratic graph. Alright, quadratic graph, very, very important for your maths. It's important you know how to plot a quadratic graph. Alright, so it's more technical than straight line graph, but the same principle, the same procedure. Alright, just that in this one, we're not going to have a straight line graph. Our points will give us a curve. Okay, now before I get a graph for this table of values we have here, I'm going to use the scale of this graph. Scale is very important. Now looking at the points we have or the table of value, the scale I'm going to use 1 cm represent 1 unit on the x-axis, and I'm going to use I'm going to use still 1 cm represent 1 unit on the y-axis. Alright, using the points I have here. So let me go ahead and bring the graph and plot this. Okay, so this is the graph. Let me write the scale of this graph here. Okay, the scale I used 1 cm represents 1 unit on x-axis. Then 1 cm represents 1 unit on y-axis. Very, very important. Indicate the scale of your graph. Okay, so as we all know, here in this graph we have a midpoint. Our midpoint is 0. Okay, these are 0, and these are positive y-axis. These are negative y-axis. These are positive x-axis, and these are negative x-axis. Okay, let's go ahead and get the point very, very fast now. When our x is negative 4, our y is 5. Okay, when x is negative 4, and y is 5. So when you trace it here, these are 5. So this is where the point is going to be. So the point will be somewhere here. Right, so when our x is what now? When our x is -3, our y is 0. Okay, so this is where it's going to be. X -3, y is 0. So the point will be here. Now when our x is -2, our y is -3. So when you trace it, this is where it's gonna be. Okay. Now when our x is -1, our y is -4. So when you trace it, it's going to be here. Okay, this is where it's gonna be. When our x is 0, our y is -3. So when you trace it, this is 0, these are y, so it's going to be somewhere here. Okay, so this is where it's gonna be. Okay, now when our x is 1, right? Yes, when our x is 1, our y is 0. So when you trace it, it's going to be here. This x, y is 0. Okay, now let me write this way. So the point is going to be somewhere here. Alright. Now when our x is 2, our y is 5. So when you trace it, it's going to be somewhere here, 2 and 5. Okay, now if you check, this is going to give us a curve by the time we plot this. So when you sketch it, this is how your graph is going to be. You're going to get this kind of curve. Okay, this is how the curve will be. Now let's wipe this and look at another problem. Let me give you guys a practice math problem on this. I'm going to give you a quadratic expression or equation, and you're going to get a table of values and use it to plot your graph. Okay, so let's wipe this. Okay, in this practice question, we are given our y equals x squared minus 4x, okay, minus 1. And we're asked to plot this graph, this quadratic graph, alright, using the values of x between -2 to 6. So that means x values will have it to be -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and to get the y values, all you have to do is to plug in these various values of x in this quadratic expression respectively to get the value of y. So let's go with starting with when x is -2. When x is -2, let me plug in -2 here. This is minus, alright, respectively. We're going to have now -2 square give us 4. Okay, -4 times -2 will give us plus 8. Okay, so we're going to have 4 plus 8, which is was 12. Okay, now 12 minus 1 will give us 11. So we're going to have this when x is -2, our y will be 11. Okay, now let's go with -1. So -1 give us 1. 1 plus 4 give us 5. 5 minus 1 give us what? 4. So when x is -1 and y is what? 4. Let's go with 0. So 0, everything here give us 0. So we'll be left with -1. When x is 0, our y is -1. Now when x is 1? When x, we're going to have 1 square is give us 1. Okay, this gives us minus. So we're going to have 1 minus 4, which give -3. Okay, -3 minus 1 give us what? -4. Right, so we're going to have -4 here. Okay, let me write this way. We have -4. Okay, now when x is 2, we're going to have 2 square is 4. Okay, 4 minus 8 will give us -4. -4 minus 1 give us -5. We're going to have -5. Okay, now when x is 3, we're going to have 3 square will give us 9. Okay, so we're going to have 9. -4 times 3 will give us 12. We're going to have 9 minus 12 will give us -3. -3 minus 1 will still give us what? -4. 4. Okay, still have minus 4 here. Okay, now what of when x is 4? When x is 4, 4 square is 16. Now 16 minus 16, we still have minus 4 times that 16. 16 minus 16 give us 0. 0 minus 1, I have minus 1. Okay, minus 1 here. Out of 5, 5 square is 25. Okay, now we're going to have 25 minus 20 because 4 times 5 is 20. So 25 minus 20 give us 5. 5 minus 1, we're going to have 4. Okay, now 6 this time I want 6 square is 36. Okay, and we have 36 minus 24, we're going to have 12. Okay, 12 minus 1, we are going to have 11. Okay, so with these values now, I'm going to go ahead and plot this quadratic graph using this table of value we have. All right, so let me get the graph, but before that, let me choose a scale here. The scale of them, I'm going to work with 1 cm represents 1 unit on x-axis, and I'm going to also use 1 cm. Okay, don't use 2 cm. No. Let me use 1 cm represents 1 unit on y-axis. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, guys, so this is the graph. Now note that I changed my scale. I used this time around, I used 1 cm represents 1 unit. Let me write it here. 1 cm represents 1 unit on x axis, and I use 2 cm. No, I use 1 cm represents 2 units on y-axis. Alright, so the reason I used to for y-axis so that my points on my point, because if you see my points are too extensive, I'm having up to point 11, so that's why I used to so that I can this graph I'm using here will accommodate all the points. Alright, so in your graph you're doing in person, you can still use 1 cm represents 1 unit on y-axis. Alright, so just use a nice scale that accommodates all your points. Having known that, let's go ahead and get our point and plot this graph. So when our x is -2, our y is 11. So if you trace it, 11 will be in between this thing and 12. So the points will be somewhere here. So to be in between 12 and 10. So when our x is -1, our y is 4. So when you trace it, this is where it's going to be. The point will be somewhere here. Okay, now when our x is 0, our y will be -1. So when you trace it, -1 will be in between 0 and 1. In between 0 and -2 rather. Okay, so when you trace it, it's going to be somewhere here. X is 0, our y is -1, so it's going to be here. Okay, now this is the point. Write it right. Okay, now when our x is 1, our y is -4. Alright, so when you trace it, this is going to be the point will be here. Okay. Okay, now when our x is 2, our y is -5. So when you trace it, -5 will be in between -4 and -6. So the point will be somewhere here. Okay, when our x is 3, our y is -4. Okay, it's -4. So it's going to be somewhere here. Okay. Now, when our x is 4, our y is -1. So it's going to be somewhere here. Okay, when our x is 5, our y is 4. So when you trace it, it's going to be somewhere here. Okay, when our x is 6, our y is 11. So when you trace it, it will still be somewhere here. Okay, so we have traced all the points. So let's now join them, and with this we get our quadratic graph. Hope you know that this place is a negative x, these are positive x, these are negative y-axis, these are positive y-axis. Okay, now with this we can go ahead and get the points of this graph before I call it a class. So if I'm tracing the points, all right, I'm doing a sketch, so my work might not be neat. So just for you to get the idea of how the curve will look like. So if I'm tracing this, I'm going to have something like this. Okay guys, so this is how your curve is going to be, and with this I'll come the end of the class. Hope you learned something interesting from this video. Okay, if you are new to the channel, ensure you hit the subscribe button now to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Also like, share, and comment on this video. Tell me how you feel from what I learned from this class. Also ensure to check the description of this video below for a link to our Telegram channel. Click the link, join our Telegram channel for instant notifications. Now, if you seem to have any specific questions regarding this plotting of a quadratic graph, feel free to leave your question at the comment section below, and I'll be sure to give you a response. That's it for this class. Now click on the end screen above, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.